Hey, what's going on, movie lovers? Jacob Bartley here from Apocalypse Movies, and this is my review of the 2016 movie, The Magnificent Seven. Now, for those of you who don't know, this is a remake. I believe it's the second remake, third film titled The Magnificent Seven. And yeah, I'm here to review it, so this is going to be a non-spoilers review, just my quick thoughts, my positives, my negatives, and an overall score out of 10. Now, this is directed by Anton Fuqua. He directed Training Day. He directed the Jake Gyllenhaal boxing film Southpaw, and he's a really good director in my opinion. And when I heard about this film about a little over a year ago, that Anton Fuqua, a great director, is directing The Magnificent Seven remake with the cast that they put together, Denzel Washington, Chris Pratt, Ethan Hawke, Vincent D'Onofrio. I was like, wow, I'm a big fan of all these guys. This is going to be amazing. So my anticipation was really high when I first heard about it. And as time went on, I kind of just got less and less excited. I didn't necessarily love the trailers. I thought it looked very, very generic. And the PG-13 rating is what kind of made me not too excited about the film. I was still going to go see it, obviously, but I thought this movie would work best rated R. And it turns out I was right as far as my expectation goes. It's not a bad movie. I liked it, but with this cast and this director and this material, I think this movie should have been great. And it was just okay. Like, it wasn't horrible, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't even really good. It was pretty good. That's what I would say if somebody asked me. Now, let's get into some reasons why it's just pretty good. Now, first of all, I want to talk about the positives, and that is the cast and their interactions with each other. Now, even though the character relationships aren't really that developed, just if you were just taking the chemistry that the actors have with each other on face value, it's great. Like, seeing Chris Pratt interact with Denzel, that was probably my favorite interaction. And just seeing Ethan Hawke and Denzel interact again. I don't know if they've been in anything since Training Day, but it was great seeing them act together again. And just all the interactions between all seven of the characters was really good. And I thought that there was some originality in the sense where some of the end was a little bit unpredictable. In some aspects it was very predictable, but in certain parts it was sort of unpredictable, I would say. I can't really get into it without getting into any spoilers. Overall, it's just, it's just a fun little Western film. I was expecting it to be like amazing, but it was just fun, and overall I'm not disappointed in that. So some of the negatives I have to say is, like I said earlier, there wasn't much character development. Even though I enjoyed watching these actors act together on screen, they didn't have enough background with each other for me, or at least the movie didn't show us enough background with the characters for me to believe that they were just this bunch that's gonna ride or die for each other. Now, the way the story's set up, they're fighting for something righteous, they're fighting for something that's right, but they tried to portray this group of characters as if they're like some type of family or something, or like they're ride or die with each other, or they're brothers, and a lot of them have just met each other. So while a lot of the interactions are great, I just wish there was more character development. Now, I just want to talk about Vincent D'Onofrio's character a little bit. I didn't mind him as much, but his voice, I don't know what they did with his voice. I ended up liking the character, but when he first shows up, it's just, whoa, out of nowhere. And then the biggest disappointment for me as far as a character is Ethan Hawke's character. One of the main things I was so excited about was seeing, like I said, Denzel Washington and Ethan Hawke interact together. And while I enjoyed seeing them back together on screen, just that Ethan Hawke's character as an individual was just not appealing. He wasn't likable. There was nothing about him that, made me like, oh yeah, like I'd have that guy's back. Like he was just very disappointing as a character. Now, some of the other characters were awesome. I don't know the full cast's name, but most of the Magnificent Seven characters individually were freaking awesome. I was just really disappointed in Ethan Hawke's character. And now we get to the ending where some of the ending was really predictable. I said there was certain things that happen that aren't predictable. The things that are predictable are just too predictable, and I just wish it would have went down another way. And overall, just the story and the way it flows is disappointing. Like it's like, it's kind of formulaic. You know what the next step's going to be just from scene to scene. And then, speaking of that, the editing was horrible in my opinion. Like, it tried to set it up to where, like, this epic grand adventure, and like they're all the characters are looking out out to the sky, and like it shows each character's face, and it felt so sloppily edited. And I'm starting to realize more and more as I watch more movies and become more knowledgeable about films that editing really affects the end product. Like, everybody talks about Batman v Superman and how the editing is like one of the major negatives in that film, and I agree with that. And I think Magnificent Seven has the same thing, where the editing just felt so off, like it felt so awkward, and the cuts just didn't feel right. So overall, I liked the film, but I was really disappointed in it. And with that being said, I'm going to give The Magnificent Seven a 6.5 out of 10. I thought it could have been a lot better, but overall, it wasn't a bad film. Alright, well, that's going to do it for my non-spoiler review of The Magnificent Seven. Again, thank you all for listening. Hit me up in the comment section. Let me know what you thought of the film, and let us know what you think of our movie reviews and stuff like that. So, again, thank you all for listening. Until next time, take care.